in another best of 3. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss. He just got cheesed the hell out by herO. We'll see if he can redeem himself here and now. For his new team, Twisted Minds, it is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have his good friend and old teammate. We have the Korean Zerg player representing Weibo Gaming. It is SHIN. Here we go. So we have our PvZ. Again, for those who maybe are a little bit newer to StarCraft, SHIN and herO for a very, very long time, they were both on CJ. They were both on CJ Entus. And if you tune in to their Instagram, either herO or SHIN's Instagram, they do often, not even just them, but Bunny as well, they do often post every now and then whenever they go out. They get some like KBBQ together. They all hang out like after games, after GSLs. They get some drinks. And it's really cool to see like that friendship persist over time. Specifically, herO, SHIN, and Bunny. They're all on CJ together. They're also good friends. And sometimes you see like Biel, or sometimes you see some of the other ex-CJ players that are no longer competing. Sometimes hang out with them as well. So really cool to see. Really cool to see. So do recommend it. When it comes to seeing like who's like interacting like out of game and off stream, always fun to see. So now we do have our initial setup here. Have our setup. Interesting that herO does go for the gate Cyber Expand, I believe just before that Nexus. So our eyes are on herO. Yo, what's going on? As it does skirt around towards the third base location. SHIN just going hatch gas pool. Are we going proxy Stargate? No shot. Okay, he's going in for the scout. Going in for the scout. Initial adept is on the way. And again, the adept is going to be slightly earlier than normal. As we have the Stargate back at home. So Stargate opener out of herO. When it comes to the opener, when it comes to the build, we don't really expect too much deviation here. I say that herO, he is quite fond of going into Stargate into Glaives before the third. He does like to whip that out every now and then in a series. So that's something to look out for in this best of 3, for sure. SHIN going for his linear third. As herO does throw in the shade. Keeping tabs on SHIN. Likewise, Stargate is done, and the Oracle is on the way. It's not uncommon to open up Void Ray. Like, you can open up Void Ray, and you can, your goal would be to hunt down Overlords and deny vision. Likewise, you can also open up Phoenix for a similar result as well. But we can see herO just going Oracle. Just goes for a standard opener, Oracle, into harass across the map. It's going to be up to SHIN to keep up with the Adept harass and with the Oracle harass as well. So it's on SHIN to keep up. Lane speed is almost done. Tabs threatening another shade. Oracle's on the way. We have 1 Spore in the main. We have 2 Queens here at the natural. There is potential for damage. As Lings, yeah, they're out of position. Adepts, they shade into the main. Eva Shaman gets thrown down. We do try to buy some time. 1 drone gets picked off. He gets 1. 1 so far. Oracle towards the natural. Spore not in position. Yeah, no Spore here at the natural base, and this is getting out of hand. Getting up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drone kills. Ay. This is far too much. Getting up to almost 10. 10 workers go down. That should not have happened. Again, SHIN out of position with the Lings. SHIN out of position with the Queens. And this is getting out of hand. 12 drone kills and some lava and lost mining time. And with that, herO has a massive lead. He's looking very comfortable here. Behind this, going for additional Oracles, second into his third Oracle, into his Twilight Council, into most likely Blink, waiting for the Forge, waiting for +1. But here, he has a nice lead, and again, that should not have happened. SHIN was being greedy. He's being greedy. In the sense that he had delayed his second Spore. he was punished for it. And with that, herO once again poking in. Yeah, this time we have one spore in each base. But again, the damage has already been done. Plus on Carapace on the way. Okay, interesting. It's not often an upgrade I see prioritized in this matchup. As we have the stage traps in the main, catching out a Ling, catching out one drone, nothing major. But still damage nonetheless. SHIN is going for his Roach Horn. This might just be a Ling Ravager all-in. I'm curious kind of where this leads. Just because, again, Carapace is just an upgrade that you rarely see in PvZ. So we are going to be committing. Likewise, stasis into the mineral line. Oh, it does go off, catching out 3 drones and a queen. Ay, ay, ay. Like, you already got the damage, Pappy. You don't need to keep going. herO, calm down. He's going for another. No, no reaction. Doesn't pull away. Another stasis goes off, gets half the mineral line. And here comes herO. Blink is almost done. He's rushing into a flea peak and he's rushing into Sky Toss. Okay. herO getting fancy. Again, we don't need to do this, but okay. Why not? Why not? We're far enough ahead. Go down to the Temple Archives, get Storm, get Extended Thermal Lance, Resource Tectonic Destabilizers, just why not? Why not? Let's get everything. Aye, aye. Now SHIN, he does have a Ling counterattack that can delay the 4th base at least. But here he's moving in, gets a queen, takes down queens, takes down roaches. Lings, they trickle in, the stasis traps behind this as well. Oof, and the stasis traps, they catch out the Lings. Brutal connections. Here are going to be forced back, and SHIN, as we mentioned, this +1 Carapace does scream Ling Ravager all in. So I feel like that's probably where we're headed. Oh, Alien Nest also on the way. Okay. Getting to a nest. Building up more Ling Roach. So far, SHIN is treading water. Likewise, Oracle's AC, 0 saturation at the 4th. Let's herO know to set up back at home. Shield batteries are on the way. Cannons are on the way. He's getting ready for the push. He's getting ready for the assault. Storm is almost done. Tempest production has begun as well. He's making 2 Tempests at a time. And again, usually you would not be able to get away with this, right? Like, this is so much resources invested into Tempest, into the Flea Peak, into the 2nd Stargate. Like, it's quite expensive. But because of the economic damage here, he's safe. Like, he's safe to do so. Like, SHIN is just quite far behind here. It's one of those things where I say it with me, the soup does lie. Soup does lie. SHIN, he's up in supply, but that's inflated by the roaches, by the ravagers. Likewise, his economy has been lackluster up until now, where he's finally joining up to 70. And now here he comes. Again, the side defense is waiting for him. We have the attempted Baneling bust here towards the natural. Let's go. Here his army is split. He's got Storm towards the side. Likewise, Tempest towards the south. Tempests are revealed for the first time. And SHIN's like, what the hell? Why the Tempests here? I have zero anti-air. No Hydras, no Spire, no Corruptors, no Mutas, no nothing. He has Queens. And even then, he only has 5. He has 5 Queens for defense. Sell around by moving out. How good are the Storms going to be? Oh! Okay, Storms, they pop off. They graze the Ling Bane. Oh! As the army's moving in. Does move in. So far, the Ling Bane is dealt with. At the same time, Bane busts you on the right-hand side. Tempest hit the defend. Tempest, they slowly kill the Banelings. But yeah, GG gets called. He's not going to be broken. And herO, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. herO, he keeps up, he shuts him down. herO does take a lead, and a shout out in the chat. Thank you so much to Silly Dobby in the chat. Gap, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the 3 months, for the 3 months subscription streak. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for resubscribing for 3 months, and also to Draconics. Gap, oh my god, Draconics. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. Thank you so much for resubscribing as well, also for 3 months. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate the support. Do appreciate the subscriptions. Again, all the money that we make here goes back in towards the tournaments that we run and the events that we host. So thank you so much for all the support. And likewise, thank you so much to Blakeadoos for the 100 bits as well. Thank you. Thank you. So we are getting into our next game. Here we go. Carapace must be a misclick, right? Maybe. Like in my mind, Carapace would make sense for certain all-ins, but based on the fact that SHIN didn't go for anything like that, I think that was a misstep. The reason why I assume this, for those that are maybe a little bit unfamiliar with the importance of upgrades or how they impact this matchup, typically Carapace upgrades are delayed, if not avoided, unless you're going into like heavy Roach Ravager styles, just because the tankiness and the durability of your army doesn't really matter as much, just because Colossus, Storm, Adepts, a lot of these units have high impact damage, so the Carapace upgrades don't actually help you that much as attack upgrades, for example. Unlike where in ZVT, where the Marine attack the attack rate is very high, but the attack damage is a little bit lower, so Carapace helps so much against like bio-heavy compositions, because again, like the attack rate is so high, and Carapace, the defense upgrade applies to every single attack of the Marine, for example, and it does of course bolster your Ling Bane army to collapse on the army, whereas it's a different dynamic against Protoss. Very different. But here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Twisted Minds, leading the series 1-0, and 1 game away from qualifying for GSL. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player with the blue Zerg, the South Korean Zerg representing Weibo Gaming. It is SHIN. There are certain instances in this matchup where Carapace is impactful. Specifically, I'm thinking of Hydra versus Carrier. I mentioned how the Carapace upgrade works really well against Terran and against Marines because of the high attack rate of the Marine and the relatively lower damage, right? It is similar with Interceptors, right? Interceptors also have a higher attack rate. There's a lot of Interceptors, they swarm around, they do a lot of like small damage over time, a lot of like lower damage over time. And that's where Carapace upgrades can help against that kind of unit in like Hydra versus Carrier. Outside of that, not as much though. But you know, there are certain niche instances where Carapace can be important, for sure. But from here, we are going to be settling in. It is going to be another Stargate opener out of herO. No surprises here. Winding it back, of course, herO, he had a massive lead last game with his Oracle and Adept Harass. Remember, he killed, was it 12? It's like 12 drones alongside Larva, the stasis traps as well. Like SHIN was having a very hard time keeping up with the aggression of herO last game, and that was partly because he was out of position and being greedy as well. We spoke about how SHIN, his queens were distracted in the main base by the Adepts. Lings missed the Adepts, so the Lings were out of position, and it did open up the natural. There was no Spore. Oracle came in. Like it was disastrous. It was just a disastrous start, and herO, he almost won the game then and there. From that moment, SHIN had to make 2 choices: either be hyper greedy or go for an all-in, just because he had fallen so far behind, and he wasn't quite able to achieve either one. Didn't go for the all-in, didn't go for hyper greed, and he was just trying to keep up and trying to recover, but it was just too much to recover from. On top of that, herO did a great job at capitalizing on his lead. After he secured himself in that last game, after he dealt all that damage, what did he do? He rushed into Sky Toss. It was crazy. he rushed into Tempest, while also getting to Storm and getting to Blink Stalkers. Like herO just had that much freedom to do so. In a standard like back and forth game, you should never be able to do that. That should not be possible. But because of his lead, like he was able to get away with that. As the Oracle does hit once again, no Spore. Once again, no Spore. The natural Queen's a little bit far back. 4 drones going to be going down. Nice damage so far here by herO. But the Depths this time are cleaned up, and SHIN, he will defend. Ooh, as he bleeds out another 2 more workers. This is still very nice damage for herO. Aye. Usually the first Oracle gets like maybe 2. Like 2 drones. 2 drones is acceptable. Losing up to 6 is brutal. Thankfully, this is nowhere near as much as last game. Remember, last game, it was 12 drone kills. So this is still better than game 1, but not ideal. It's still kind of rough. As the second Oracle does poke in. Denying mining time. Going for stasis. Shin does pull away. Behind this, we have the Twilight Council, we have the Forge, we have +1 and Blink on the horizon. More Oracles towards the natural. And Shin, he's keeping up. Getting another. Getting another 2 workers. It's all adding up over time. The Oracles, they do survive. Oh god. Better positioning here from Shin. And you can see, like, as the queen count gets higher, it becomes more and more difficult for herO to get damage done. So Shin is securing himself. As herO once again he slips into the natural. Oh, doesn't get a drone. Oh, this way too soon. Gets 1. Oh god. Gets 2 drones but takes a lot of hull damage on that Oracle. That's like the hell out of here. At the same time, Lings, they attempt to run by, but alas, herO, he's secure back at home. Lair is on the way for Shin. And herO is fully saturating. Coming into this, as it all settles, herO, he got 10 drone kills and 7 Lings in total. Did bleed out Adepts, but Adepts don't really scale too well in a longer game, so really good trades here from herO. Behind this, Blink +1, we do have our Temple Archives into Storm. This time, herO should not be rushing into Tempest the way they did last time. Just to re-emphasize, the reason why I got away with that is because herO had a massive lead early on. Here, the lead is nowhere near as great, so it would be more difficult to get away with that kind of greed. With that kind of taking. So we have a much more standard follow-up out of herO. It's more standard. Oracles, they will deny and delay the 4th. No Roach Warren, so we just, as the Queen gets hearted down, but no Roaches, so it's going to be Ling Hydra out of Shin. No upgrades, though, which is a little bit surprising to me. Typically, we'd see +1 melee by now. Ooh, going to +1 range. Interesting. So, range upgrade typically means that we're going to be fixating a lot more on Hydras, less on Lings. We have a lot of Lings, that is true, but now it all makes sense. +1 range, why? Infestation Pit. Lurkers. Shin is trying to take up into Lunkers. That is the goal, that is the plan. Before we can get there, the 4th base is going to be denied for a 2nd time. Brutal pickoff. This is getting a little bit out of hand. Shin, he needs a 4th. Likewise, Lings, they attempt this around. Stasis going off. Sentries are left behind. So we get some decent pickoffs here. But Shin kind of fully engage. And GG gets called. It's just too much. And Shin, he will tap out. herO will break him. And herO takes the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. When it comes to that kind of scenario, I should also emphasize, we did mention how the 4th base was denied twice. The 4th base is a really crucial part of ZVP in this kind of scenario, in this kind of dynamic. The 4th base is not just your economy, it's your production as well. Not getting a 4th base is a win condition for herO. It's actually quite similar in ZVT as well. With your 7-minute move out with Stim and 2 tanks, like the goal is also to break the 4th. And if you can break the 4th, like that's game then and there. You could definitely argue that Shin could have tried to stick it out, but remember, Shin, he was not set up for an all-in. Shin, he was taking up into Hive and into Lurkers. That's why he had the Infestation Pit. He also had no upgrades because he had later +1 range. He was setting up for a longer game, which means he needs that 4th. GG. GG, well played. He just cannot get it up and running, and with that, herO qualifies. herO, he does qualify here for the GSL. And Shin, he is going to be knocked out of the group. He's going to be knocked out of the group. Now, just as a reminder, Shin, he will have another chance in that quote-unquote wildcard qualifier where the players that fail to qualify through these groups, they're all going to be invited into a separate bracket. They're all going to be invited. So Shin, he will have another chance.